What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Casual's Garage. This week we're going to wrap up our 530 finally. We're going to get the sheet metal polished up, get it put back on. We're going to polish up the fenders. We found out we've got a unfortunate situation with the carburetor, so we're going to have to take it back off and address that. So we're going to get those handful of things taken care of and get this thing ready to head out of here and get put in the shed. Alright guys, so next up on our list of things we want to get done before this tractor leaves the shop is to actually get it ready for show season. And to do that, we're going to, well, you already saw us give it a bath. We're going to compound polish and wax it on the sheet metal, but first it's got to have a bath and it's got to be clay barred. So I figured I'd show you guys how I do that on the hood, just because it's easy to see. And then we're going to do the hood, the nose cone, and the fenders before we get this tractor put back together and out of the shop. But mechanically, we're basically done with this tractor. So this is not really necessarily my preferred way to wash the sheet metal. I would prefer to be doing this outside, but I don't know if you guys can hear it. Hear the wind beating the door around behind me, or behind the tractor over there. But it is extremely windy. Today, so we're making do with what we've got, and basically we're going to soap and then wet rinse the sheet metal to try and get all the soap off, and it'll just evaporate off the floor in here. We're not worried about that. And we'll take a dry towel or several, dry it off. We'll clay bar it and clay bar the hood, and then we'll get the DA out and get it compounded and polished and waxed. The paint on this tractor is in pretty good shape, but I don't know that it's been waxed. I know it hasn't since we got it. And it sat in the barn all year last year, waiting for a spot to get the power steering worked on. And it sat for at least a couple of years before we got it. So knowing that, I'm just going to go ahead and go through the compound polish and wax. There's not too many scratches or anything on this. It's not in too bad a shape. It won't take much to get it cleaned up. But since I have the DA to do it, dual action polisher to do it, we'll just go ahead and compound it as well as polish and wax it. So with that, we're fairly dry. We're dry enough to clay bar it. If you've never clay barred anything, never seen it done, what it is quite literally, well, what it says on the tin. This is just a McGuire's clay kit. Buy them for about 20 bucks, 20, 25 bucks, something like that. You can get clay bars cheaper. I was just out of quick detailer and I don't have any rinseless wash to use with this. Well, come on, get off of there. So basically what we do is we're going to take the quick detailer, which is just a rinseless wash really, and we're going to come on here. I can feel on the hood some minor surface imperfections, and that's basically what our goal is going to be to take out. So I'm going to take my bar and just kind of break it out a little bit where I've got some surface area to work with. Something kind of sort of like that. And we'll take our quick detailer that comes in our kit, and what the heck, we'll start up here. So we'll pick an area and we'll mist it down, and we'll just take our clay bar, and you can kind of feel it almost cut the paint just a little bit. You can see it's taking off some junk off the top of the paint, which is exactly what we want. Basically what this is going to do is take all the minor surface imperfections off. So I'll set our clay over there. We'll take our included towel. It's just a microfiber, the fairly big one. And we'll wipe off our quick detailer. And from over here to right here, this has got some rough texture to it, and over here on this corner, it's glass smooth. And that's all the clay bar does, is just take the surface imperfections off, so that when you start polishing, compounding and polishing, you're not grinding those imperfections into the paint with the compound. So we're ready to polish, and I'm gonna set my polisher. Well, I guess I'll hold it. Hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing. So first thing we need to do, shake up our compound. We only have to do this specific step for the compound, but we need to take, because this pad is super aggressive, we need to take and prime the pad with compound the very first time, because this pad's dry. It's been used before, but it's dry. It's been about 4 months since I've used it. Now I'm just going to take a piece of paper and spread it around. And try and cover basically the entire surface of the pad and I'll probably need more compound. I usually do this with the top of a box, but we got rid of all the boxes. I don't have any handy. So piece of paper it is. Okay. So now we're going to take and do straight out of McGuire's tutorial, 5 dots, give or take, about that size. And we're going to do an area about this big. Compound you do small areas with a lot of product. And then as you go up, polish, you'll do twice as big an area, half as much product. Wax, you'll do almost this entire side of the hood with very, very little product. So what we're going to do is take and pre-apply our compound. And then I'm going to turn my DA all the way down, set it on the hood, and spread the compound out in the area that I want to work. Yeah, that's probably about right because this is a smaller hood. Now I'm going to turn my DA up to a little over 4, so about 4.5. Go back on here, we'll set it back on here, and we're going to go across, and then up and down, and then across, and then up and down. And that's it. Don't care. And then we're going to take a clean rag, wipe the compound off, and we'll move on to the next section. Okay. And this is single stage paint, so it's going to take paint off. That's the whole point. And like I said, we'll take a rag and just wipe the compound off. All right, so I've got my polishing low cut pad. So this is a very, very low cut. It's barely going to make any real impression. And A, I've been polishing with this already, and B, we don't have to prime this pad like we did compound. We're just going to do an X like that. Don't care. then we're going to come down here and work in sections, roughly that big. Then same thing, we're going to spread it out, and then we're going to come back on speed 4, so a little bit slower than we compounded, and we're going to make 2 passes instead of 4. That's really the biggest difference here. Oops. Okay, so now we'll go up to speed 4. And the same pattern we were using on the compound, we're just going to make 2 passes instead of 4. We'll set the polisher down. We'll take our clean microfiber. Get rid of the polish that I just got on my hand. And we'll wipe the polish off. So we stopped about right here. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera. I can see it in a good light where we stopped. We stopped about here, and all of this is way glossier and not as cloudy as what we've compounded. So I'm just going to keep that up. I'll let you guys watch. Give our panko ring half a chance.
What can I be the most benefit to you? Are you gonna come up here and come up over it, or
I'm gonna go straight. I'm gonna just like this. Go straight up the ladder, I think. Yeah, we're close. It needs to come this way. Make it all flat so I can see what I'm doing. think your edge needs to come out and up. Yeah. There it went. It's down. And we're in at the front. It's just gonna come. Remember where that baffle's got to end up. It's got to be on this side. Yeah, my side needs to go back another inch at least. Let's see. Come up. What am I hitting?
Yes, sir.
What am I missing?
All right, now look up on this.
Oh, I'm not even close on my side.
Yeah, I'm back. You are not. Yeah, so
I'm not even close. There it went.
I like that.
There we go. It even still fits. Punches out. Right here. All right, so I'm gonna chat a little bit while Y'all watch from that side. So when I changed the manifolds on this tractor, I mentioned seeing a drip coming out of the needles. I chalked it up, or sorry, it wasn't when I did the manifolds, it was when I adjusted the valves. I chalked it up to I was turning the motor over by hand. Well, we thought we were completely done with it, and I pulled it out yesterday, or went to go pull it out yesterday, and it was locked completely up. So I took the spark plugs out. I wish I had been recording this because it was hilarious. I took the spark plugs out and it shot gas all the way up to the roof behind the camera, and then on the other side of the tractor, all the way up over the refrigerator behind us and all the way up to the ceiling. And that's what the sediment bowl turned off. So not only is our sediment bowl leaking, but our needle also, our brand new needle that we just put in this tractor, is also leaking. That's the only way that I can think of that we would be getting that much gas in the crankcase. So, knowing that, we're going to unhook our choke again. Our gas is turned off for whatever that's worth. We're going to unhook our throttle, and we're going to do two things. I'm going to pull the carburetor off and go back through it, since I'm going to take it off to do the bowl, or to do the needle and seat again. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go back through it. I'm going to spare you guys most of the details from that, because you've seen me rebuild this carburetor once. But I'm going to go back through it, and then I've also got a positive shutoff valve to go in our fuel line that we're going to put in. Yep, the barrels are sitting full of gas. Yep. least we're going to attempt to anyway. Okay. I'm going to solve our fuel problem. Okay. Alright guys, so we're out for another ride. I think you can hear me. We're trying the new mic out. So we're out for another ride. What you saw was basically we have a bad needle. Had a bad needle in the carburetor and the float pin had gotten bent somehow or another. So while I had it apart, I opted to just go ahead. While I was changing that needle with the seat again, I opted, it didn't take that much longer to just go ahead and rebuild it one more time, just to make sure we were good. And it seems a lot happier now. It's hopefully not filling the crankcase up with gas anymore. It ran almost 5 gallons of gas down into the cylinders and into the crankcase over the last several days. So that's the thing. So I'm out riding it around again. I'm gonna get it warm and tune the carburetor, hopefully for the last time. Hopefully we're just about done. If all goes as planned, the next thing you're gonna see is the last bath, blacken the tire There it goes. All right, guys. I'm going to turn the ignition off before I forget. We're letting it run out of gas. But as you can see, the 530 is no longer in the shop. It has been evicted. It has been discharged from the hospital. We're done with it. So, what have we done to this tractor? In case you haven't watched everything. Let's see, we've rebuilt the carburetor twice now. Second time was a bad float pin and a bad needle. I had to deal with that, and I decided to just go on and clean it one more time while I had it off, since I was that far into it, because it doesn't take that much more effort. We put new manifolds on it. We rehabbed the fuel system completely. Root motorcycle. We rehabbed the fuel system completely. We put a new sediment bowl in it, which leaks. We put a fuel filter in it, and then I've ended up putting a positive shutoff, quarter turn shutoff valve in it to make sure the gas gets cut off, because it actually filled the crankcase up with about 5 gallons of gas, and hydrolocked the motor. That was fun. You guys did get to see that because I was busy cussing at it. So, with that, anyway, we cleaned up the sheet metal, we polished it, waxed it, gave it a good bath. Let's see, we have been through the power steering pump, the power steering valve, and the power steering worm. That was what was the main issue with this tractor when we brought it into the shop. So we got all that addressed. We've given it a bath, a couple of baths actually, and then we put new plug wires on it as well. I don't know if I showed you guys that, but we put new plug wires on it. I actually temporarily robbed the coil off of this tractor for the 50, just to prove the coil of the 50 wasn't bad, which it wasn't. But when I robbed the coil off of it, we pulled the ends out of the spark plug wires, so I just decided to get a new set for Brillman. Be done with it. So, with that, I think that covers just about everything we've done to this tractor. As of right now, we're done with it. We don't have anything else to do. Yeah. The next time you see this tractor, it'll be out either riding or we'll be getting it ready to take it somewhere. We'll see. So, I will see you guys next week with another video. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that algorithm stuff. And we'll see you guys later.